Oh yeah, if you've been here before, you already know what's up. All you had to do was just look at the shirt that I'm wearing. For everybody else, this is going to be yet another rant video. I just did one of these, didn't I? Yeah, I did. It was only a week ago that I uploaded a rant entitled, "Why Can't I Upgrade to Ubuntu 21.04? Now, the main thing that video touched on were some of the very dangerous precedents that were set with this particular update. But there are two things that I want to focus on this rant. And one of the things that I want to focus on first is probably one of the more important things that I guess was lost. And it is that communication is key. And I kind of pointed it out a little bit, maybe not a whole lot because it wasn't that big of a deal to the point that I was trying to make. But it is kind of a big deal because you need to be able to communicate to people what's going on. And I took a little bit of issue to the fact that the reason why upgrades were not allowed was basically relegated to a footnote in the release notes. It wasn't posted anywhere else, and you had to do a lot of digging in order to get to it. Oh, if you thought that was bad, wait till you see what they did next. Now, I gotta preface this by saying today is May 15th, 2021. This video is not going to be uploaded any sooner than the evening of the 16th, so tomorrow evening, as I'm recording this. By then, this whole thing could be obsolete. But I'm going to upload the video anyway, because I think the underlying sort of concepts are really important to, especially to learn from for 21.10 and beyond. Here is one of many news articles that was published, 3 days ago as of when I'm making this. You see, May 12th. You can now upgrade Ubuntu 20.10 to 21.04, and here is how. Upgrades are blocked until today, May 11th. Well, this was published on May 12th, so that's kind of a problem, but whatever. Due to a bug that made some systems to end up in an unbootable state. Okay, so there's a little bit of English issues there, but that's not the point. You know, people are not going to be perfect, so updated shim, you could do all this. So updates are enabled, are they? Well, come over to this. We could see that, you know, for the latest release, Hirsute, fixes released for pretty much all of these. So there's fixes. And if we go further down on this thing, we could see a message on the 11th. Let me see if I can find it. The verification of this has completed. The package is now released to updates. So, it's fixed. But yet, if we take a look at this changelog thing, which is where the release upgrade tool happens to get its information from, I'm going to just refresh it. In fact, I'm going to Control F5 several times. And if we scroll down, the last one on the list is 20.10. 21.04 is not there. Furthermore, we can prove that upgrades are still not allowed. Come over here to the software updater. Or maybe not, because I guess working's a little bit too much to ask for. Let me take a look. The software on this computer is up to date. Just for completeness sake, we'll do this do release upgrade thing, even though we've pretty much already determined that it's not going to tell us anything else. So, there. No new release found. Well, gee, didn't this thing over here just tell me that I could now upgrade from 20.10 to 21.04? Seems kind of strange to me. What's going on? Well, I think you're probably left asking the same question too, and I don't even have an answer for it. Because there is no answer. There's nothing posted anywhere other than this one random Stack Exchange question that was asked today. You can read that and pause the video to read it if you wish. That does not have an answer. I mean, that's not really an answer. Nobody knows. Not a soul. So here we go. We're at this stage here. There's nothing from the Canonical team. There's nothing on Launchpad, at least not the bug that they reference. Nothing about what's holding this back. There's no news article. There's nothing other than this one Stack Exchange post that talks about it and doesn't answer. There's no answer to the question. So I come back again to what in the hell are these guys doing at Canonical? They're not doing their job. That's what they're not doing. Their one job, I might add. And this is getting kind of frustrating because it's been going on for a long time. That they just bodge everything, it seems. Because this isn't the first time we've had a major issue with an upgrade just breaking things that are fundamental. And we don't even ever get an answer from them. We don't ever get anything out of them. They just kind of sit there like, you know, it's like the dog in that burning house meme that just sits there like, this is fine. Are you sure? Like, are you sure about that? It doesn't seem like things are fine here. Because it's now been almost a month. In fact, the day I'm recording this is the 15th. 7 days from now is the 22nd. It was released April 22nd. 30 days. That is a month. So it has been almost a month since this thing was released. And we still can't run upgrades, and we still don't even know why. Really. I mean, we kind of know why, but that problem has been fixed. So what's the problem here? I don't really get it. Now, I'm going to speculate right now. I think I know what the problem is. It is that the shim binary, the new one, that is fixed, is not yet signed by Microsoft to work on secure boot systems. Do I know? No, because nobody said anything. Quit galaxy braining all this stuff and just do something. Post something. Say, look, we're sorry. This is why it's delayed. We may or may not have a timeline for when it's going to be released. I don't care about that. The fact that you say something is what matters to me, so that I, as a consumer, know what's going on. Do you think for a minute that if Microsoft were to release, I don't know, the next release of Windows, let's say it's Windows 11, just throw a number out there. Let's say they release Windows 11. 4 days later, they pull it off the shelves. Do you think for a minute that they could get away without saying a word? There's no way they can't. Now, you're gonna sit and point at me like, oh, well, it's a paid product. Blah, blah, blah. They sell it in stores. This is free. It doesn't excuse anything. If you want to say that you're better, then be better. Don't do this. This is not better. Microsoft couldn't do this. Apple couldn't do this. Google couldn't do this. Dell couldn't do this. Nobody could do this. So why are you doing it? Why? I don't think I'm going to get an answer to that question because you can't even answer this. I want to have this discussion again. Yes, I'm going to go here. Why is this Ubuntu 21.04? Why is it not 21.05? Why is it not 21.06, for that matter? It's not ready. It wasn't ready a month ago. Alright? You cannot sit there and tell me that after all of this disaster that we have just seen play out in front of us, that it was ready on April 22nd. It was not ready. It might not even be ready now. Who knows? I don't know what's causing the problem because they won't tell us. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe somebody took it off because they saw that on the bug report, somebody put in Xenial Xeris in there for some reason. I think that was absolutely stupid and should never have been done. But they did it anyway. So, maybe somebody saw that and thought, oh, it's not done yet, and took it off. I don't know. They won't tell us. It's the same, we just keep coming back to the same thing again and again and again and again, without clear, concrete statements from the company. all the user can do is sit and speculate. One of the things that drives me nuts about the Linux community is how much they shill their product onto users who have never used it before, and then get upset when these users don't understand how the product works. It happens all the time. You know, you upload a video, you complain about something in Windows or Mac, and invariably you get a million comments from people that tell you, use Ubuntu, it's better. You should be using Ubuntu. You should be using Linux. You should be using Debian. You should be using this. You should be using that. And then when you do that, you find that it doesn't suit you at all, and you complain about the fact that you don't understand how this thing works, and there's no clear explanation. People tell you that you're an idiot, and you don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? That's what I gotta ask. What are you doing to help this? The answer is nothing. Do you think that having an ISO so you can install from scratch but not being able to update is going to bring new users to Ubuntu? Think about that for a minute. What is a brand new user going to do when they see this? They're going to see a fustercluck, and they're not going to want anything to do with it, because invariably they're trying to get away from their own fustercluck. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't help you. All you gotta do is just be transparent and say, look, this is why. We may or may not have a timeline for this, but this is what's going on. You know, it kind of reminds me a lot of the canonical takeover of Ubuntu, of Google's takeover of YouTube, and just how tumultuous that's been. Although on the flip side of that, Google and YouTube don't really have any competition, so they can get away with stuff like that. Canonical and Ubuntu, they've got all kinds of competition, so they can't get away with this. And yet, apparently they are, because nobody's done anything about it. It's dumb. First of all, we shouldn't even be having this conversation at all, because this should never have been released. I'm going to stand by that. Second of all, we shouldn't be having this conversation at all, because basic communication with your user base is pretty important. And third of all, straighten your act up. Is this the blueprint for future releases? If it is, your product is going to go by the wayside. It's going to go away. I think that's it. I think anything else that I say is going to end up in a circular argument. It just comes down to say something. Tell us what's going on. We don't need an in-depth explanation as to why things are the way they are. We just need to know what's going on. Why is it that when I open up my upgrade tool, I can't upgrade to the latest release that was released a month ago? If you tell me that, I may not like the answer that I hear, but at least I've got an answer, and I don't have to sit here and wonder if it's something that I'm doing or what's going on. I shouldn't have to do that. So, that's all. Leave your comments below. I don't know if there'll be very many on this. There weren't very many on the last one, which kind of surprised me. But maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I guess we'll see.